Let's flip the script right now. You're jobless, no paycheck. No structure, no titles to hide behind. And everyone around you might be whispering that you've fallen behind, that you're in trouble, that you better fix this fast. But I'm here to tell you the opposite. What if being jobless is the best thing that ever happened to you? What if this is your $1 million opportunity? Not a crisis, not a curse. But the very moment your life begins to compound in your favor. Sounds crazy, right? But it's not. When you understand that, every success story you admire started with the same thing: disruption. Something broke, a job ended. A plan failed, a door slammed shut. That's how real transformation begins. Not when everything's working, but when everything falls apart, and you are forced to stop living on autopilot. That's the moment your mind wakes up. That's the moment your old life becomes too small to contain who you're becoming, because let's be honest, you've been playing it safe maybe for years. You've stayed in jobs that didn't challenge you, said yes to roles that drained you, accepted less than you deserved because it was secure. You followed the rules, you waited your turn. And now you're unemployed, wondering what went wrong. Nothing went wrong, something went right. The universe, life, God, whatever you believe in, just remove what you were never going to walk away from on your own, not because you're weak, but because you're loyal. And loyalty to the wrong life can be lethal. But now you're free. And freedom is where $1 million ideas are born. Think about it: no schedule, no inbox full of demands, no supervisor shaping your self-worth. You've got time, you've got space. You've got the one thing most people are begging for, but never allow themselves to have: a blank canvas. So the question is, what are you going to do with it? You can spend the next 3 months applying for jobs you don't even want, trying to rebuild the same version of the life that just let you go. Or you can use this time to bet on yourself. Like never before, you can take your experience, your skills, your pain, your story, and build something that actually pays you back. Not just in money, but in meaning. Because here's the truth they never taught you. You don't need a job to create income. You don't need a company to give you permission. You don't need an office to be a leader. What you need is clarity, courage, and the decision to stop waiting for someone else to choose you. Your $1 million opportunity is not a specific business idea. It's not a side hustle trend. It's a mindset. It's the mindset that says, if no one's going to hire me, I'll hire myself. It's the mindset that asks, what do I know? What can I teach? What can I sell? What can I solve? Because you've got more inside you than you realize. You've led people, you've solved problems. You've written, managed, negotiated, mediated, coached, trained, presented, persuaded. You've worked under pressure. You've adapted through chaos. You've been through enough storms to know that you don't just survive, you build. And now it's time to build something that belongs to you. Will it be hard? Yes. Will it take time? Of course. But look around, so does everything else. Struggling through a toxic job takes time. Feeling lost in someone else's system takes energy. Playing small takes a huge toll. You're going to spend the next few months doing something. Why not spend it creating a foundation for freedom? Why not bet on the one asset no one else can duplicate? You're sitting on gold. You just haven't mined it yet. And if you stop seeing this unemployment season as a detour and start treating it like the doorway to a different kind of life, everything changes. This isn't about motivation. This is about vision. This is about choosing to see what's possible instead of staying stuck in what's familiar. Because the familiar didn't make you rich. It made you tired. This could make you free or jobless. And that might feel like your lowest point. But what if I told you that some of the wealthiest, most fulfilled, most impactful people you admire had to hit that same low before they found their lane, before they built their brand, before they made their first 6 figures, before the world clapped, they sat in silence. Just like you are now, wondering if they were finished. Wondering if they were too old, too late, too lost. But here's the difference. They didn't stay stuck. They used the break as a breakthrough. They stopped asking who will hire me and started asking, what do I have to offer? And when you ask that question honestly, Your entire future opens up because everyone has something to offer. You don't need to be famous. You don't need a big following. You don't need to be some tech genius. You just need to look at your story and ask, what have I learned the hard way that someone else would pay to learn faster? That's it. That's where your opportunity begins. Maybe it's leadership, maybe it's communication. Maybe it's marketing, project management mindset. Parenting, health, writing, finances. Creativity, organizing, coaching, consulting. Product building, branding. Something you've already paid the price and time paying. Trial and error, now you turn that into value. And value is what people pay for. That's what business is. It's not about credentials. It's about solving problems. And you're more qualified than you think. That time you held a team together during a merger. That's leadership under fire. That year, you juggled kids and work and still hit your numbers. That's real-life execution under pressure. That stretch where you freelance, pivoted, learned, adapted. That's entrepreneurial mindset. But most people never turn it into income because they're still looking at themselves. Through an employee lens, they keep asking, who's going to give me a chance? Instead of how do I create one? That shift from seeker to builder is the million-dollar mindset. The difference between waiting for life to happen and stepping into the driver's seat. And no, it doesn't mean you have to start a company tomorrow. It just means you stop putting your destiny in someone else's hands. You start moving, creating, offering, teaching, serving, showing up. You become valuable because you own your voice and your skills. You become magnetic because you lead with service, not desperation, and the opportunities they find you. Clients, collaborators, employers who don't just want another resume, but a real human with perspective, courage, and depth, because that's what you have now. Depth, that's the gift of being jobless. You stop floating on the surface. You go deeper into your purpose, your creativity, your voice, your standards, your story. That's what becomes your income stream. Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's freelance, maybe it's writing, building, teaching, speaking, launching, investing. There's no single path, but they all start with one decision. I'm going to build something that belongs to me, something no layoffs can take, something no algorithm can replace, something your kids, your future self, and your legacy will look back on and say, that was the moment it all changed. So, yeah, you're jobless. And that might just make you dangerous because you're no longer busy. You're available for clarity, for creativity, for courage, for that bold idea you've been sitting on for years. And the best part, you don't need anyone's permission to begin. You just need to believe that you're worth the risk, that this moment isn't your downfall. It's your launch pad. Million-dollar lives don't begin when things go right. They begin when people get real, when they lose what was false, when they step into what's possible. So stop waiting, start building. And when the day comes that people ask how you made it, you'll say it started when I lost everything and finally chose myself.